course, our 258. Tell us who's racing today, Rodney.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got a host of riders racing, but we got riders that are racing for national championships, including the 17 of Justin Cooper coming into this one with a 2-1, a score of 3. His closest competition, Enzo Lopes, the number 16 with a 6-2, a score of 8. There's a 5-point buffer there rolling into that. About 4 guys tied for third with 10 points each. We'll talk about that a little bit, but we roll into the Bell Helmets Holeshot, and of course the first early leader here in this one is Shalon Tennant in his 250A class, the number 69 machine. And if you take a look at that, he is actually into this one with one of those 4 riders that has 10 scores. He took a Moto 1 win, backed that up only with a 9th place finish in Moto 2. So here he is looking at better scores in Moto number 3. If he can carry this one all the way home to a win, that'll put him at a score in 11. It may not win the championship, but it's certainly going to make things look a lot stronger toward it.
Looks like an early challenge up front there, and I tell you, Rodney, you talk about these scores. As we know down here at Loretta, crazy things happen. We get championships with 9-4-1s. We get all kinds of crazy scores playing out into the overall, but right now, look at this. We've got a 3-man race for that second position. Looks like that number 70 machine, making a quick mistake back there in Storyland, able to gather it back up, but the number 70 machine trying to make hay while the sun shines, coming under fire right now, though, and literally the sun is shining. Rodney Tomlin making her way back to the beach, coming back around to, of course, the Rocky Mountain itself, and look at this. 3 guys want that lead. Rodney, only 1 can have it.
Julio Zambrano from Mexico, Georgia. DNF in Moto 1, 25th in Moto 2. He is sponsored by no one. That's exactly what it says on his sponsor list. And here he is in Moto 3 making waves.
And you tell me things can't happen like that at Loretta's. We see it each and every year. This guy's got a point to prove. Having some bad lucks in the first 2 motos. Guess what? Outside getting his money's worth right now, buddy. Out front making it happen. We're going to bring Top Jimmy back in the booth here in just a second. I'm going to slide out for just a little bit. We're going to be back after lunch here, it looks like. We're going to get you guys taken care of. But right now, business at hand. That number 17, Justin Cooper, Julio Zambrano. Looks like Shalon Tennant, followed by Mitchell Falk, Joey Crown in that number 7 position. Raylan Alves in that, looks like, number 8 spot. I'm sorry. That is the number 6 position. Dylan Greer rides in 7th. Jordan Bailey in the 8th spot. Tyler Rosa owns the 9th position. And rounding out the top 10, it's that number 46 KTM of Kevin Moran's.
That's right. And as we take a look at the overall right now, Justin Cooper, if he can hang on to this, is looking at a 2-1-1 for the win. A 1-9-3 right now for Shalon Tennant would score 2nd overall. Joey Crown looking at a 4-6-5 is looking at 3rd. But, man, there's still a long road to hoe before this one's all said and done. A lot of changes can change the face of this race in a split second.
Yeah, you know, things happen quickly down here. One small mistake really can amplify itself when everybody's this closely matched. It doesn't matter what class we're talking about. This is Loretta Lynn's, Rodney. You know as well as I do. These guys are so evenly matched, running such close speed that many times at a local race you're going to be able to make up for that mistake. Down here, that mistake's going to be amplified.
It most certainly is. And right now, amplification down on the 3rd place position is Tennant under pressure from Mitchell Falk, the 62. He's only about a 2.5 seconds when they came through. As they went through Storyland, things really tight. We see some red cross flags out there indicating we got a rider down. I think they got that all straightened out, and the rider out of the way, and maybe back into the race, hopefully. But still, Justin Cooper out front. Julio Zambrano, he was running in that number 2 spot aboard the 0. Actually, as we said, a DNF, a 25, and then running in 2nd place. He was starting out strong. We'll see how the rest of this moto will carry him through. Right now, Cooper is looking at taking an overall win, and we are working on shaping up lap number 2. Now, I was talking about a 4-way tie for the 3rd place overall position heading into this. Just to give you an idea, Jace Pennington, the 31, coming into this one with a 7-3. And at the end of lap number 1 here, I see Pennington was in 11th place, so he's a little further back. We also had Jordan Bailey, the 32 machine. He was looking at a 5-5 coming into this one. Bailey is currently in 6th place right now. Joey Crown with a 10 as well with a 4-6. He is in 4th place right now. And Shalon Tennant with a 1-9 also with 10. But Cooper coming into it 2-1 had a 3. He had a 5-point lead over Enzo Lopes, the number 16 machine, who had a 6-2. So the comfort zone is there. If you look at it right now, he's got 8 points to work with Shallon Tennant right now in second overall with a 192. Cooper's got 4 with a 211, and Tennant's got 12 with a 192.
I tell you, not a lot of room for error right there. One small mistake, falling over, stalling the bike, anything can cost enough positions to really overcome that gap. And as you can see, just by talking about our front runners right now, some of the different finishes they've had, Rodney, it can and will happen down here. You're going to see those goofy scores, and you're going to see the unthinkable happen.
It is, and consistency is key here. If you can score 2 good motos and a decent third moto, sometimes that might be enough. Sometimes you got to be perfect the whole way through.
You know, when I'm here for the whole week, people get tired of hearing me say survival, dude. It's all about survival at the ranch. You talk to Jeannie Carmichael, Big Rick told me one time, you know, you got to get down there, you got to survive at the ranch, Mega. There's a lot of races where you can get out there and you can fake it. You can put on a charge. You know, you can put 2 motos together and luck your way through. There's no luck in 3 motos, man.
No, that's not luck. That is hard work, consistency, determination. All that balled together, and right now Justin Cooper is exemplifying that with a 2-1-1 scenario situation unfolding for him. You can't take anything away from Shallon Tennant as well. I mean, he's got a 1 and a 2. He did have the bad second moto with a 9th place finish, and again, you know, that's just, I think the stroke of luck that Shallon Tennant always seems to get here at Loretta. You always see the talent that this boy brings, but he always has a problem whenever it comes to actually getting all 3 motos together. 2 motos, you know, out of 2 motos, he does pretty good, but those third motos, sometimes they don't fare out as well for him. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Tennant doesn't have the talent, doesn't have the passion and the drive. He just hasn't had the luck here at Loretta Lynn's. But I think that we can expect to see big things out of Tennant whenever he makes his way into the pro ranks.
No question about it, Rodney. A lot to be said about that. Right now, looks like where are we at on our time, Rodney? I can't find our time.
We are 6 minutes,
there
51 seconds, almost 7 minutes into this. So basically, a little more than a third of the way through. We're working on the halfway point, if you will. Rider to keep an eye on right now is Joey Crown. Crown is 3rd overall, looking at a 4.64. He is trying to get up around Mitchell Falk right now. Now, whether or not that's going to move him up into the 2nd place overall, not really know, but at the same time, it's not so much about that, I don't think, for Joey Crown. It is more about finishing as strong as he can, grabbing that Moto medal, if nothing else.
That's what it's about right now. It's about pride, it's about heart, it's about reaching and digging deep right now, man, and going after that win.
So right now, we watch Justin Cooper on his way to history here at Loretta Lynn's on board the 17, and I know Cooper was likely, and as always, you know, a high hopes contender for a 258 championship, and whether or not everything is going according to plan, I would almost have to think so when you look at those scores. I know he would like to be coming into this with a 1-1-1, but let's check in with this battle that's taking place right now. That is Joey Crown trying to get around actually 32 of Jordan Bailey trying to get around the 35 of Joey Crown. That is a battle for a 4th place position right now as they roll past the finish line. So Bailey, the 32, someone we haven't talked a whole lot about in this particular moto, he comes in with very consistent rides. He comes in with a 5.5 himself. He was one of those riders tied for 10th. Now that Bailey has moved up to that 3rd place position, he is now taken over the 3rd place overall position. So Bailey around Crown for 3rd. Crown drops off to 4th place. Mitchell Falk drops from 3rd to 5th. So both Bailey and Crown got around Falk, but Bailey taking it to the limits out there on that lap. A 5.53, scores of 13. He's only 1 now away from Shallon Tennant, and that's a big order to fill. That's 5.3 seconds he's got to get because he is physically the one that has to pass Tennant in order to make that happen. So battle for overall 2nd is the battle for 2nd on the track. And if you look on the track right now, our top 3, that is the way they will finish for the overall as well. Cooper, Tennant, and Bailey, as long as they stay in the position they're in right now. Joey Crown would even take the 4th place overall finish. And your 5th overall would be Rambler Alves, the 6th place ride currently aboard the number 22. Alves is looking at a 3.86 for 5th place overall at the moment. Still room for changes, though, as Jace Pennington, the 31 machine, is up to 7th place. If he can grab one more, then he'll move into a top 5 overall. So we'll sort that out as we get a little farther into this. And right now, at the halfway point of this near 20-minute moto, and Cooper still maintaining the lead. There's the 32 machine of Jordan Bailey as he has solidified now that 3rd place position away from Joey Crown. He turned about a 3.5 second faster lap. Bailey a 2:05.498 and Joey Crown a 2:08.679. And that's the difference that we are recognizing here at the end of lap number 5 as Justin Cooper, the 17 machine, is working his way toward the finish line. He takes another lap complete here as he goes past the finish line. As we check into the 2nd place position, we look for Shalyn Tennant. He checks in almost 11 seconds back. Whoa, Joey Crown, 4.2 seconds behind Jordan Bailey. Doing the math right now. Bailey has gotten up to 2nd. So all of a sudden, wow, that has changed again. So Bailey, Cooper, Bailey, and Crown 1, 2, and 3. Shalyn Tennant would be 4th overall. Ramiller Alves would be your 5th place overall ride. But right now on the track, it's Cooper, Bailey, Crown, Falk, and Tennant. That's the way we're looking at the overall top 3, Cooper, Bailey, and Crown. And we're just going to wait with bated breath at this particular point to see what kind of changes do transpire out here. 2.11 for Cooper, 5.52 for Jordan Bailey, and a 4.63 for Joey Crown. That's your top 3 in the race for the 3rd moto and for the overall right now. Gaps, as you can see in this 258 class, opening up quite immensely, 10.5 seconds between 1st and 2nd place. Can Bailey bridge that gap? And if Bailey did, what would it mean for the rest of the race? Wouldn't mean much of anything, would change the overall really, but if it got inside the head of Cooper and made him make a mistake at that point, then it could change the pace. But as we said, Cooper is looking at an overall score of 4. You can only, if he would have won the first moto, it could have looked for a score of 3, but even if he drops back to 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th place even, he's still got this championship wrapped up. It's just a matter of just maintaining the race at this particular point. And as we've heard so much, race management, and management here through the final laps in this 3rd moto is what we'll be watching for out of Justin Cooper. Is he going to be the DM, the big district manager there, and take this championship? Bailey checking in some 10 seconds back. He is about a second faster, but with this race closing in on the final laps, we're about 13 minutes into this. I would assume that we've got another 2 laps before we'll see the 2 lap board, so we'll probably see a total of 10 laps in this 258 class, so time will tell on that for sure. But as of right now, I'm expecting this to be a 10-lap race, and we are now 13 minutes into the 3rd and final moto. So still plenty of room for things to transpire out here, passes to be made, mistakes to be made, and amazing feats to be achieved as well. But if you're watching these lap times and the gaps, you can see that it's going to take a whole lot through those top 3 to see much of a change. Nearly 10 seconds between 1st and 2nd, 8 seconds between 2nd and 3rd, another little over 5 seconds between 3rd and 4th. It does get a little tighter between 4th and 5th as it's less than 2 seconds now. lot of fun up here in the tower right now. The demon, Jason Wygant. He is old Speedy himself, Jason
trying
the
to
Weed.
pick himself back up for the rest of the week and for the remainder of the motos.
You think you got this, Jason? Gives you wings, don't it, brother? Got
He's
all
a modified version of that Red Bull. He cannot ride that in the limited class. Justin Cooper still out front, though, with that 2-1-1 moto score. Justin Cooper has been incredible this week out here at the ranch, proving to be pretty much unstoppable. Only person that's got in front of him in any motos is Challen Tennant on that 69, and Tennant right now actually dropping back. But the big crown right now. The big story right now is Joey Crown. He has been riding excellent the last couple motos in these A divisions, coming from the back. We just need Joey Crown to get off the gate. That seems to be the issue. Jordan Bailey, another one up there in that number 2 spot. Jordan Bailey not on the podium yet this week in the A class at Loretta, so it's good to see him out front in the number 2 spot. And he ran a 2:07 that last lap around, only a second off leader's pace, Justin Cooper. And everybody back after that is pretty far off the pace. So Jordan Bailey able to keep Justin Cooper in check just a little bit in moto number 3.
Moto number 3, that is it, the championship moto. This is the one that counts and carries the heaviest weight of the week, and this oftentimes is the one that many remember. So if you can make your marks in these final motos, this is where oftentimes that a lot of those rides are handed out, and people getting recognized for that extra sponsorship in the upcoming year, as this is considered the final race, the big race of 2017. Now, when we start all over again, when we head back down to near Newberry, Florida for, I'll say this, an all-new Winter Olympics. That's right. Be standing by for details about that. And I know that Wynn Kern and the folks down there are pretty excited about what is coming up in the near future for the upcoming Winter Olympics. So we know that's going to be all new. But this is the final for that. That one will start next the 2018 season, when we'll get a chance to see some of these riders that are moving up and crossing into new classes. But right now, my friends, putting the seal on this 2017 season, Justin Cooper looking just a few more laps to go. 17 minutes into this one now as we roll past the finish line. We're watching the 62 of Mitchell Falk. Falk right now is 4 seconds behind Alves, the 22 machine. He is just outside the top 5 positions. Tanner Stagg checking in now in the 7th place position. So just watching the fluidness of Mitchell Falk here in this final moto. Now, as far as an overall goes for Falk, he's looking at a 13:34.6. That's only good enough to score a top 15 as far as the overall is concerned. But nonetheless, man, when you can come back and see kind of a redemption ride for some of these moto riders and some of these riders in these final motos, redemption means a lot, and it makes it a little easier to swallow whatever the overall results are if you can come out and score much better here in the third and final motos. Yes. 8 laps down, working on 9. Warning about lap times, this is our fastest lap so far, 2:05.4. Jordan Bailey, that's the fastest lap time today so far. We have seen faster lap times, obviously, in previous days. Some problems there for the 31 of Jace Pennington. Oh my, and that's going to change the face of that championship battle for him. He was looking at a 7.38 for a 6th place overall, and we know that's going to take him out. That'll move Chandler Stack up. That'll move Richard Jackson up, Wilson Fleming, Kevin Morans as well. "19 minutes into the moto, and I would expect that this is going to be a white flag lap for these leaders as they come through. Bailey 12.2 seconds back in second now. Crown is 9.8 seconds back in third. Again, the way they run on the track, Cooper, Bailey, and Crown will be the way they finish for the overall. Tennant in 4th right now will also finish 4th overall for the week. Too much fun up here today. You know, I'm going to tell you, these guys are focusing the studio camera in on my hands because I talk so much with my hands. That's the beauty of using these headsets. I can go all over the place. I just need a lot more room whenever I'm talking with a headset on. And these guys need all the room they can get to get around this racetrack to try to move on up. But I think we pretty much solidified this one with a 12-second, 10 and 10-second gaps between these front runners right now. Rambler Alves, our Alves, I should say, might be a rider that might be looking to try to dethrone Talent out of that number 4 position. That might also switch things around and give Alves the 4th place overall position and drop Tennant back to the number 5 spot. So we'll wait and see how the closing lap here identifies that. But again, it's just a matter of waiting to see when, and there it is, the 17 of Justin Cooper to make his way into the final turn. That hard left-hander as he motors his way onto the history books of Loretta Lynn's. The rev there, the celebration rev, as he goes past the announcer's tower and heads to the winner's circle, and of course to that Race Tech podium to celebrate his national championship. Jordan Bailey around now on board the number 32 in 2nd place of the Moto. A 5.52 will score 2nd place overall for Jordan Bailey. And as we look just a little bit further back, the 35 of Joey Crown coming in on this one with a 4.63 for an overall 3rd. Alves gets around Tennant on that final lap. He will take 4th place overall position. Challen Tennant will drop to 5th place overall. So the way we see our top 5 in the final moto is exactly the way that they finished for the overall standings. It's kind of a neat little scenario we got developing there, but I know Justin Cooper is probably the most satisfied one about this whole scenario, the way it shaped up today. 2-1-1, and man, that right there, just enough, more than enough, quite a bit more than enough to win this national championship. He has been just an amazing rider this week, not letting that first moto defeat there take any of the wind out of his sails whatsoever. Challen Tennant, man, what a great ride. He started out this one right where folks expected him to be. That second moto, though, the miscues, the problems there, taking him back to 9th place. Might have weighed a little heavier coming into this 3rd moto because we know that possibly the heat was on a little bit more to perform. But regardless of that, he still gets a top 5 position, as you see there on the overall results unofficial board. We're getting ready to head down to the podium. I believe Jason Wygant has made his way down to the Race Tech podium as we get set to crown another champion in our top 3 overall. So giving just a few moments to get things organized down there. This will be one of the simpler podiums when you got 3 and 3 like that. Just simply no figuring on this one, no trying to decide. We know if you got 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in this moto, you got 1st or 2nd or 3rd overall also.
All right, we had to clear the podium. I'm telling you what, so much attention on this kid. There wasn't even room to maneuver. We'll get 3rd and 2nd and have a chance to talk to them. This guy doing some digging and a solid run to get a bronze medal. Coming out of Michigan, the number 35, Kawasaki, Joey Crown. How'd that moto go for you, Joey?
I mean, what it's been most of the time. I had that one really good moto in the 450 class. I was just feeling good, but I was struggling out there in the mud. It was a little difficult, and I was kind of upset when Bailey passed me, and I was trying to keep up, but I just was making mistakes, and I figured it would be safe just to settle where I was, and felt like I got going faster towards the end. The track started getting better, and I started relaxing and not riding it so hard, I guess, so to speak. But I say it's a decent way to end this class, and hopefully the Open Pro Sport will be able to get a whole shot and be in the top of the step.
Who do you want to thank, Joey?
First and foremost, Lord Jesus Christ, and then my mom and dad and my sisters. They sacrificed a lot for me and do so much. And Monster Energy, Aaron from Monster, appreciate everything you do. Kawasaki, the whole crew, thank you so much. Thor Gear, Oakley Goggles, Garnet Boots, Tamer Holeshot Devices, Giant Bicycles. My trainer Pablo for always believing in me and getting me a kick-ass program. Who else? There's so many people that helped me. Oh, Club Max, can't forget them. Those guys have been great to me. Shoot, there's so many people. I'll hopefully be up there again and be able to think more.
There you go. Good thinking. All right, let's hear it for the 35, Joey Crown. These photographers got a lot of practice. They know the shots they want. I got to bring our second place finisher on up. Should be Jordan Bailey. Here he comes. Well, Jordan put in a good run here, made some passes, and ends up with a silver medal. Let's hear it for Jordan Bailey. All right, Jordan, last year obviously a big star in the B class. How's the run been in the A ranks so far this week for you?
It's been a lot of ups and downs, but we kept grinding, and the track was really tough out there, and I just needed to focus on my start and not go down, and that's what we did and made it up here finally.
Cool. All right, man, who do you want to thank?
Lord Jesus Christ, keep me safe, my mom and dad, everyone at Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna Factory Racing for supporting me throughout this year and into the future, and 7MX, Alpine Star, Aero Helmet, Scott Goggles, my trainer Tyler Atre, and everybody, thank you so much.
There it is, folks. Jordan Bailey, second place. And now the gold medal and the championship. Let's bring him on up. A lot of talk about this guy coming into the week. He delivered. He's going through their bench racing. Now I'm going to get into 10. He delivered. A lot of people were gunning for him, trying to take him down, trying to make a name for themselves. He did not let them break through. Let's hear it for your Moto winner and your champion, Justin Cooper. Grab that shield. Here you go. Hold that up, and we'll take some photos. We got to get the Scott goggles dialed in there. Well, you know what's important when you come in and win one of these big classes here. Hold that up. We'll let you take some pictures. But what I notice more than anything, the amount of photographers and video people that I'm seeing shooting this, I think a lot of people know they want to have these photos in the future because we want to mark that we knew this guy when he started to make his breakthrough. It's been a phenomenal week for you so far.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 so far, and got one more later today. The track was tough. I knew it was going to be tough. Started raining on the line. Gets the nerves up a little bit, but puts pressure on the start. I was able to get out front early and just ride smart. The track was tricky. Everyone was making mistakes out there, so just tried to maintain my lead and be smart.
What has it been like dealing with the pressure? Coming in, a lot of people expect you to do well. That means all the other riders want to come after you hard. What has it been like dealing with all that?
Just take it one moto at a time. It's hard. All the pressure's on me, so I got to deliver, and that's what I'm expected to do. So, yeah, I guess I'm taking it pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's let these guys go past. All right, who do you want to thank, Justin?
For sure, Yamaha, Rock River, Cycle Trader, Blue Crew Scott, Boyson, Twin Air, Dunlop, Renthal, Motion Pro, VP, Enzo, Guts, Yamaloop, Thor, 60, Adrenaline World, Roost, FMF, Tamer, Alpine Star, GYTR, JMS, just everyone over at Yamaha, my whole family, my mechanic, Cody. Man, they've been working so hard for me this week, and it's really showing out here. So, yeah, everyone, Ethica, Rhino Power, Asterisk, yeah, just everyone behind me, thank you so much.
There it is. Coming out of Long Island to the top of the podium. Let's hear it for Justin Cooper. And the #1 plate from Kip Bigelow from the AMA, and he gets to celebrate a big championship, and he's hoping for one more before the week is over. We're going to let these guys celebrate. I do have a Holeshot Award to give out to Challen Tennant. We'll bring him up as well. Let's go grab him. We'll get the Holeshot Award over to Challen Tennant. Meanwhile, Justin Cooper and his crew taking some photos of the #1 plate. And you guys can take it in the tower for just a moment, and when I get Challen, we'll bring it on back here. Bringing it up here, Challen. He's getting the jersey back on to get the logos out. Bell Helmet's Holeshot Award. This guy won a moto earlier in the week, so he's no slouch either. Let's hear it for the number 69 Yamaha man with Star Racing, Challen Tennant. Well, you know the start's important in a mud race, right?
Oh, for sure. The start is definitely at least 80% of the race if you don't go down like a squid like I did. But, yeah, you know, I had a good race going for me. It is slippery. It rained right before the moto, so I lost a little traction going over the roller after the mechanics area and went down, but recovered decently, and I might still come out decent in the overall with that one in the first moto. So, but yeah, I couldn't do it without my family, everybody in my corner, Yamaha Star Racing Yamaha, my mechanic Jared, my whole family, Thor Parts Unlimited, Bell Helmets, 100% goggles, Alpine Star, Dunlop tires. I was running the MX-12, and that thing hooked hard out of the gate, so that was definitely a benefit to that. So everybody else, thank you guys.
There it is, Challen Tennant with your Holeshot Award in the A class. And that's it from the podium.